And now, Jieshuo, aka Commentary Screen Reader, CSR, or if you're me, the Confused Screen Reader. This is a segment dedicated to this great popular screen reader where we show you some new feature or some feature that we believe you should be in the know of. And now, for this episode, here's your entry for Jieshuo, aka Commentary Screen Reader.
And we conclude this week's episode with a Jieshuo segment. And keeping to the theme of browsers, Karene shows us the inbuilt Jieshuo browser.
Hi. Jieshuo Screen Reader includes a web browser. It's a simple web browser. It's using web views. And it's possible to launch it through the screen reader settings using a function that launches its activity, or by setting it as a default web browser, although I don't recommend this.
Main menu.
From the main menu, I'll open the screen reader settings.
Screen reader settings. Jieshuo Plus.
And then More.
Download edition. More.
And then Jieshuo Web Browser.
Jieshuo Web Browser. Jieshuo Web Browser. All.
العربي.
Google Images link. Google Images link.
The home page is the Google page because I set Google as the default search engine. If I set another search engine like Bing, it will open Bing. On the top, I have
Jieshuo Google main menu close button.
the close,
Jieshuo Web Browser. Back button.
the back button,
Refresh button.
the refresh,
More options button.
and more options. If I tap on more options,
Forward.
this is the forward button.
Enter web address.
Enter web address. Here I can type links or paste them. I can type other texts to let the search engine search using the texts that I provided.
Copy link.
Copy link. This copies the address of the page that I'm viewing.
Filter ads unchecked.
This to block ads.
Block redirects unchecked.
And this to block automatic redirects. It's important to mention here that by default, these two options are unchecked. And if I check them, they will be only checked while I'm in the Jieshuo browser session. So if I close the browser, they will be returned to the unchecked state. I'll double tap the
Enter web address.
enter web address.
Enter web address. OK. https://www.google.com/ function clear. Enter web address.
I should clear the address first, and then I can type or paste a link. Now I will paste a link.
Text box editing. https://www.android-police.com/1+-believes-foldables-need-more-time-to-shine/.
This is an article from Android Police.
OK button.
I should tap on OK to start loading the
Jieshuo
page.
Web Browser. And a hand holding the OnePlus Open Apex Edition smartphone graphic.
To navigate the page, I can use touch exploration. I can swipe. Also, I can use the web navigation reading controls or navigation types.
Broken vertical. OnePlus and broken vertical bar. The company has now broken vertical. It believes there's still add. Close button. Jieshuo back. Refresh button. More. Menu. Android Police logo link.
As you can notice, focus is lost. And this is because of the web views issue, known issue, old issue, which happens a lot when you encounter certain elements on web pages. And here, when the focus landed on the ad, I couldn't continue by swiping. And what happened is that the focus was completely lost and it landed on the top elements, the browser elements. And then when I continued swiping, I was just on the first items of the page. We shouldn't blame Jieshuo for this. It's actually a web views issue. Since it's possible to block ads, this should fix the problem. So I'll now go and...
More options button. Block redirects. Filter ads unchecked.
check filter ads.
Jieshuo Web Browser. Close button. On that, Rajesh Pandey link. A hand holding the links. Headings. Summary heading 3. Broken vertical. 1 plus an broken the company had broken vertical. It believes there's, despite the 1 plus open, widely be 1 plus the clamshell related 5 8 link when 1 the esac should say if you look back there's another major counterpoint research link.
So I swiped and I didn't come across any ad. Let's try to use a navigation type like buttons.
Links. Buttons. Like button.
Links.
Links. 1 plus link.
It's worth noting here that it's not possible to long press a link to get more options. For example, to copy the link or share the link. All of this is not possible. Also, no action support. The browser itself is very simple. There are no settings, no customizations, only what I showed you and what I'll show you regarding the search engine. So nothing really to talk about. I can't comment on the compatibility with major websites because I rarely use the browser. To close the browser, I can use the back function of Jieshuo or the back gesture if I'm using gesture navigation. And if I'm using the navigation buttons, I can just use the back button. I'll open screen reader settings again.
Main screen reader settings. Jieshuo Plus.
And then advanced settings.
Extensions. Notification. Advanced settings. Advanced settings.
And then voice assistant and translation settings.
OCR settings. Voice assistant and translation settings. Voice assistant and translation settings.
And look for
target languaging. Used. Search engine Google.
Search engine. Now it's set to Google. I'll double tap to see what other options I have.
Search engine. Search engine. Baidu unchecked.
Baidu, the famous Chinese Baidu search engine.
Bing unchecked.
Bing.
Google checked.
And Google. As I stated before, you can set the Jieshuo web browser as your default web browser through settings. I'll show you how to do it on Samsung, but keep in mind that there could be slight differences if you are using other software. I'll open the device settings.
Notification shade. Settings button. Settings button. Setting application icon.
And then apps.
Apps default apps. App settings. Apps.
And then
choose default apps. Choose which apps to use for making calls, sending messages, going to websites, and more.
Choose default apps.
Default apps. Navigate up button. Browser. Caller. Browser app Chrome. Default browser app.
Browser app.
Speech. Kiwi browser unchecked. Jieshuo Plus unchecked.
And this is the Jieshuo Plus. While I don't see a web browser as something necessary in a screen reader, and I rarely use the Jieshuo web browser, in fact I only use it from time to time for testing purposes, but as I say always, it's there for anyone who wants to give it a try. Thank you for listening.
So I guess one question I had, Karene, is can you force the address bar to be on the screen all the time, or do you have to go into that menu to go find it?
Simply, you can't do anything. You can't customize anything. So only what I showed you, nothing more. This is the problem. Actually, it's not made to be that browser that you can rely on. It's just it's a simple browser, bare bones browser, nothing really fancy or nothing really that it's not the browser. It's not meant to be this browser that you are ready to use. And I think the developer himself doesn't want this to be the case. It's just an internal browser that you could use from time to time to go to visit some web pages or to do searches, nothing more. Just one thing I want to add, because actually the developer released a beta yesterday, and it included one additional thing, which is the ability to set a custom search engine. So it's now possible to include the link of the search engine that you want to use, and to use it as a custom search engine. So I tested with DuckDuckGo, and it's working. It's a good one. It's a good addition, but it's still not the browser that I recommend to be used as the daily browser.
Fair enough.